Before you begin your lean bulk, you need to find your maintenance calories, and you do this by tracking your calories on everything you eat for a couple of weeks, maybe more, and you're going to weigh yourself every day. If you find your weight is going up consistently, then you need to lower your calories. If you find your weight is going down consistently, then you need to up your calories. If your weight is staying the same, then that is your maintenance calories that you are eating. If your weight is staying pretty stable week after week, then you can up the calories by 200 to 300, maybe 500. If you've just started training, you can afford to add a bit more calories because you're going to be gaining muscle at an accelerated rate, so you're not going to gain that much more fat by adding 500 calories extra to your diet. It can actually be beneficial to gain a bit more weight at the start because it gives you more motivation to keep going when you first start training. So yeah, you can go 500 over maintenance if you first started training, just to see that initial progress, and then once you've got your newbie gains out of the way, just go back to about 300 calories above your maintenance calories. You need to work out your maintenance calories so you are gaining no more than a pound a week. If you're gaining more than that, then it's highly likely you're going to be gaining a lot of fat, and you might not notice it at first because you just gain overall size along with the muscle, which you're just going to think it's all muscle. But at the end of your bulk, you're going to realise exactly how much you've gained. So you need to keep a cap on that, and a pound a week should be your limit. Macros. Now, what macros should you be following for your protein, carbs and fat? Macros do not matter, okay? You don't need to be following your macros. Apart from protein. Protein is the one you do need to be following. You don't need to follow it religiously, but you do need to make sure you're getting a ballpark figure of protein in every day, and it needs to be roughly your body weight in pounds converted to grams. And that's roughly the amount of protein you should be getting in every day. Fat and carbs, they all work themselves out. Don't worry about your fat and carbs. If you feel like you need more energy in your meals, have some more carb-rich meals. You don't need to know the exact ratios. You know what a carb-rich meal is. Rice, pasta, potatoes, they're all carb-rich sources. And if you want a more fatty meal, you're going to eat some peanut butter, avocados, a steak before bed maybe. You're getting your protein and your fat with that. So you don't need to micromanage your macros. It's just going to cause you a lot of unnecessary stress, and it's not what you need, especially when you first start training. You need things to be simple, and at the end of the day, macros don't matter. Protein matters, but your fat and carb ratios do not matter. It's not going to make or break you gaining weight optimally. Getting your carb and fat ratios just right, it's not going to make any difference. You need to have regular meals spaced throughout the day, which means 4 to 5 meals spaced 3-4 hours apart. That's fine. You don't need to be eating 8 meals a day like Ronnie Coleman every 2 hours. It's just not necessary. And you want roughly an equal amount of protein in each meal, and you want your first meal of the day to be no more than an hour or two after you've woken up, because you've just starved yourself basically while you're sleeping. So your body needs to get protein in to start the muscle building process for the day. And if you don't do that with your breakfast, then you're just dragging out the time period where your body's not building any muscle, and that's not what you want. Now, you want to avoid sugar as much as possible. Even though you're bulking, it doesn't mean you can just go stupid and eat loads of crappy foods. And try and eat as many complex carbohydrates as you can for your carb sources. Sugar is going to do nothing for your muscle building. It's just instant energy, and it's in and out of your body so quickly it can't really have an impact on building muscle. Unless we're talking about immediately after your workout, then it can have an effect and can be beneficial, but it's negligible. Just eating a decent carb source, complex carb source after the workout would be plenty, and you don't need instant energy straight after your workout. Now, if you're really struggling to get the calories in, if you just can't force yourself to eat any more food, then you need to buy a blender. You need to buy a blender and start drinking shakes. Replace some meals with shakes, or just add the meals in that you can't stomach eating with shakes. And you can top these up with calories by adding more fat, like peanut butter, olive oil. Use whole milk instead of water in your shakes, and in anything you're having really, like cereal, in your tea and coffee. Use whole milk instead of skimmed or semi-skimmed milk. You need to drink your calories. If you can't eat them, you need to drink them and add more fat, because you could drink a litre of olive oil and you wouldn't even notice it, and there was so many calories in fat that it's the prime way of bulking up if you are struggling to get more calories in. Don't start adding loads of sugar, because that's going to do nothing for your building muscle. Now, if you're lean bulking, you don't have to be super strict with your diet. You can go out and have meals with your friends. You don't have to just stay inside like a hermit and say, oh no, I can't go out to eat, I'm clean bulking, lean bulking, whatever you want to call it. You can have a social life. You can go and have a random meal that you don't know what calories are in it, and it's fine, as long as that's not every day. As long as it's a rare occasion, it's fine. You're not going to notice the difference, really. It's not going to make or break your clean bulking. It's not going to make you lose your abs at the end of your bulk. Now, I recommend you set a limit point for yourself, for your diet, that you do not go past and you don't allow yourself to surpass. This can mean outgrowing your clothes. It can mean you lose the bottom 4 of your abs and you can only see the top 2. It can mean your waist size goes over a certain limit point that you set for yourself. It can be anything you choose, but it needs to be a definitive point, and not just that you look at yourself in the mirror and think, maybe I've gone too far, because that is so murky and undefinitive that you might never reach that point. You might always be kicking yourself and looking in the mirror thinking, yeah, I'm just getting bigger, I'm looking good, but you might be getting fluffy and packing on a lot more fat than you think. So you need to set a definitive set point that you do not go past, that you reach, and then that's you telling yourself, right, you've gone too far, you need to dial it in, rewind, take back some of the fat off, and then you can restart your bulk again. And it will keep you lean year round for the rest of your life, basically, if you just keep to those rules. You will never allow yourself to get out of shape. If you do not set a set point, then you might find yourself 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years down the line, having to take off 50 pounds more of fat to get back to a body weight or shape that you are actually happy with. And you don't want to have to do that, because nobody likes dieting hardcore for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, months even. It's just not what you want to be doing. So if you set a set point for yourself, you are going to reduce that to maybe 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. You might need to diet every few months or every year. And that is so much easier than having to diet for months on restricted calories. One thing I should say about all this is, if you're not following the proper training plan, and if you're not resting properly, then your diet will be for nothing. You'll just get fat. You can't have a strict diet and just make sure you're 200 or 300 calories over maintenance and gain muscle and stay ripped without training properly. It's just not going to happen. You need to send the right signals to your muscles to grow. Otherwise, they're not going to grow, and those calories are just going to go towards fat. And to finish the video, I'm just going to say, don't think adding more calories is going to add more muscle. It doesn't really work like that. Muscle mass takes a long time to grow. It takes years to build a good physique. Unless you've got insane genetics and you are a freak, 1 in 10 million people, then you're going to take quite a while to build the sort of physique that you want and that you're picturing in your head. So don't think you can get it in 6 months or just a year and then that's it. You can just maintain it after a year of training. It's going to take longer than that. It might even take 10 times longer than you are thinking to gain the amount of muscle that you want to gain. So just bear that in mind. And remember, this is a long process. Don't think about short-term gains. Oh, I'm going to do this for a few months and then I'm going to get what I want and then I can just relax everything. No, it doesn't work like that. This is just a lifestyle. You need to be in the lifestyle of training properly, resting, and eating a decent, balanced diet without going stupid on your calories. And that's it for the video. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below and I'll do my best to respond. If you've got any ideas for topics you'd like to see me cover on the channel, leave them in the comments as well and I'll see what I can do. As always, like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out, and I will see you next time.